in commentary. They've just (11) Tom Strickland, number 13 Dane Milanovic, number 7 number 63 Nick Erez, number 6 Lewis ninth, if my calculations are correct, his 9th season in charge out at the Village and going along, well, not so much this year. We'll get into some of the stats so far this season, although they had cause for celebration late at Paisley Park last week. On to Green Gully. In goal, number 1, Jared Tyson. Number 4, Jordan Hall. Number 5, Daniel Jones. Number 8, Nick Georgopoulos. Number 9, Alex Salmon. Also had some joy of his own last week with a brace. Number 10, T-Boy Kamara. Number 12, Melvin Beckett. Number 13, Sean Timmins. Number 17, Luke Yego. Number 21, Anthony Polyak. And number 25, the skipper, Jeremy Walker. On the bench tonight for the Cavaliers. Number 22, David Thompson in goal. Number 2, Chow De Godoy. Number 3, Michael Graham. Number 11, Minardi Kamara. And number 15, Stefan Stoicheski. And the Gully are coached by Stephen Down, the man rooted in England, as the players make their way onto the pitch. Just to paint the picture, it was last week, Gully, comfortable 2-0 winners. Despite losing a player to a red card, it was Jay Davies seeing red in the 32nd minute, but they tucked in 2 goals before half-time at Avengers Stadium against Avondale. Both goals coming from Alex Salmon in that first half. They're top of the table with 2 wins and a draw from their 3 outings so far. They're a point clear of Bentley, coming into this round, of course. Bentley, Melbourne Knights and the St Albans, or Dynamo St Albans. Heidelberg United, yet to have a win this season, but they would be buoyed by what they did last week at Paisley Park against the Magic. 2 late goals to get a 2-2 draw after trailing for much of the game. It looked unlikely they were going to get points out of the game, but thanks to late goals from Dane Milanovic and Owen Ashton in the 85th and, would you believe it, 93rd minute of the game. There was plenty of yellow and black celebrations at Paisley Park, and they also had a red card of their own to deal with in that game. Milan Roberts earning the ire of the referees. They come into the game tonight, 12th on the table. No wins, as I mentioned. 2 draws and a loss so far in season 2021. But they could be temporarily inside the top 6 with a convincing win tonight here at Gully, because, of course, we're only into the 4th round, so those table positions probably don't read too much into them thus far. And I can tell you, something you probably shouldn't read anything into, but I'll go through it anyway. They have had the better of these clashes. Head-to-head, in 13 clashes, the Warriors have won 6, drawn 5 and lost only 2. So if history's any guide, they'll be pretty confident tonight, but of course history means absolutely nothing, especially given that 2020 was essentially a written-off season. So the last, I guess, full season, the last real football, played back in 2019. Not too far away from kickoff. I think I mentioned they did water the pitch just after the players had their warm-up. And anyone who followed my broadcast last week at Avengers Stadium, very, very different conditions tonight. Perfect autumn conditions here in Melbourne. Had the marching band playing before the game to Green Gully. Gully come out of the huddle. They're ready to go. as Heidelberg. And we're underway. Round 4, NPL Victoria action. Mark Van Aken with you here on FVTV, wherever you're joining us, right around Melbourne, right around Australia, or right around the world. They go straight into attack here to Gully through Akada. And from the left of the box, straight into the arms of Jared Tyson. So, stating their intentions early here, Green Gully. Tyson had to lunge forward, but he was shot right at him, so he didn't have too much to worry about. As Heidelberg go down long. Dealt with there by Fetahajic. Not well enough, though. Burgers now look to attack. That one spread out wide there by Yego. Sliding tacket there from, I think it's Beckett. Beckett saying, "Who, me?" Yes, it is you, sir. Not a hell of a lot, I should say, in that one, but did slide in. Probably all fair enough. So Heidelberg now. Free kick of their own in dangerous territory. And I knew I'd do it. I've already mixed up my team sheets, so apologies for that. I'll get it right. This will be Strickland. Be shooting from about 30 yards. Might look to float this one in. They've got some tall timber there. He does. Did the offside flag go up? It didn't. Plenty of Gully hands went up. Didn't matter. Was being chased in there by Milanovic. Now Mikulev. Back to Theodoridis. And it was Theodoridis making that early save for the Warriors. Told you I'd get it right. This one back to Tyson. He spotted out wide there, Kamara. Kamara's got pace. But I tell you what, it's a battle of two very pacey players there. And it's seen out for a corner. Just making up some good ground there, did Leno. Yego. Take the corner for Gully. So plenty of attacking football in the opening couple of minutes here at Gully. Yego goes far post. Dealt with pretty easily there by Milanovic. And a bit of an anticlimax there for Green Gully after some big build-up. I think it's security there, just bringing the ball back here for Theodoridis. Another long one, just over halfway. Dealt with by Jones, the veteran. How many years have we been calling his name in VPL, NPL action? Calls for handball. Assistant referee just waves it away for a throw-in favour of Heidelberg. Just sent through there by Fetahajic. And headed back to safety by Jordan Hall for Green Gully. You probably see from the flags, not a lot of breeze about here, just a slight southerly. Ever so slightly favouring Green Gully in this first half, but I doubt it will be a factor at all. Obviously some trying conditions last weekend for Green Gully in a monsoon against Avondale. Eased up a little at night for the Burgers at Paisley Park, but it was still pretty wet underfoot. So both teams would have had I presume a relatively light week on the track. And obviously some changes to lineups. As Gully now on the left of the 18-yard box, whipped in, seen away by Fedorhajic. Beckett. You got. And now Walker. Sends it right back out to the left. And this light, it sort of gives you memories with that ponytail there as that one shot down of Andy Vargas. Andy and Rodrigo, two stalwarts of this club. Walker had it on a string for a second, but that string broke. Never mind. Gully through Kamara. Down the line, Beckett. Georgopoulos squares it up. Warriors' defence is equal to it. Had their pockets picked there by Yego. Green Gully, statement of intent. Down the left to Polyak. Tackled, legally said the referee, and dispossessed. Beckett, been a live wire already for Green Gully. Now the referee spotted a foul to the favour of the green and white as the clock ticks over 6 minutes. Now the Burgers go the other way. Mikulev. In fact, that's Okada. Now, on the right flank, what can they do? Trying to play in small spaces here. George Kasakis' side. Theodoropoulos. Didn't like what he saw. Was kind of thinking Lino might be his man. Didn't get there. And outside his 18-yard box here is Tyson. Did well. Just could see that instinct of a keeper to grab the ball, but his brain kicked in and said, no, you can't do that. So, enterprising start. We're 0-0. Just tapped down by Salmon. Enjoyed a brace last week, the striker. Looking for more goals tonight. Here in front of the home crowd. Long throw down the line. Doesn't come to anything so far for Heidelberg. Trying to pick out Salmon there with Green Gully. Nothing doing. And that ball was a tad too ambitious. I think it was Vonyak. Now, Kamara. That one. He's fast, but he's not fast enough, and he lets his skipper know about it. Now Lino to Walker. Bonyak. Very small unit. A little pocket rocket there for Green Gully. He's probably sick of hearing it, but when he comes out on the pitch, I watched him during warm-up and you thought, what's one of the youth kids doing out there? And he's copying it from Lino. He's probably got about 10 centimetres, 15 centimetres on him. Matters not. Kamara again. He's also been clever in the opening game. Walker just trying to play it small and it's seen out there by Okada. And Lino does well just to let it run. And that will be a goal kick. Basically taken trophies home for fun over the last decade or more of Green Gully at this level. Heidelberg, of course, out of character for such a big club, did spend some time in the lower divisions quite a while back, but since they've come back into the top flight, they haven't looked back. And geez, I tell you what, just a nervous second or two there for Hadjic. He sees out for a corner and he's just sort of tipped it back there, and I'm not sure if it was just an attempt to get rid of it or send it back to the keeper. I dare say it was the former, but it got a little bit too close to comfort. Ended up being 5 or 6 metres wide, as you saw, but you could just tell for half a second his heart was in his mouth. So, you go. Can he open the scoring? Well, he probably won't, but can he set the ball up? Again, he's gone far post. In fact, well past the far post, so he really needs to get his radar on. That one sent in by Beckett. And then Salmon, who was so good last week, probably could have done better with that. Did have players around him. It wasn't exactly marked really tightly, and he's not too happy with himself. Sending that one well wide of Theodorides' goal. Ticked over into the 11th minute. Still 0-0. The Warriors hunting for their first win of the season. As we mentioned, can get them right back amongst the challenging pack. While Gully, well, they can get a bit of breathing space atop of the NPL Victoria table with a win tonight. Heidelberg dispossessed. Gully attack down the left. Decent old shove in the back there, coming from Milanovic. Beckett had it, but lost it. Here come the Burgers. They'll come down the right. Can Kamara get there? Just runs nicely for him. He's got Lino trailing him. Well, not trailing him. In fact, he's in front. And all of a sudden, it's a 2-on-1. Good ball in the middle. Not too much at home, though, for Green Gully. Beckett. Former Altona man. And now Heidelberg attacking numbers. Through the middle there, Josh Wilkins just sort of raises his arms. Didn't really appreciate exactly where the ball was put. It's played to feet, but not his. Fowler now goes out to the right. In the middle. Oh, good chance. It was nearly a handball there from Green Gully. There was a touch of it. It was Tom Strickland, who was just set up beautifully, just didn't quite time his leap to perfection. Kind of got him on the back of his head, and then it was mighty close, although not too many shouts from the Heidelberg players or the faithful here. Got to say the home fans are probably outnumbered in truth tonight by the visiting Heidelberg United. Trailing faithful. This is Mikulev. Mikulev get it again. He will he? No, couldn't win the challenge there against Jones. Strong veteran legs of Jones. Throw from Gully. Milanovic really enforcing. He's probably the biggest body out in the pitch. Probably got a bit of a size advantage, Heidelberg. Speaking of size advantages. That's one man who doesn't have one. A little bit lackadaisical about that Heidelberg, but Farhadic got it out of there in a hurry. Salmon. Send it all the way back to Hall. Hall sizes up his options. Kind of goes a little bit route one. Now gets a chance to do it again. Where will he go? Goes short. This one down the right for Walker. Ran into Lino. And another corner for Green Gully. So they're starting to mount up. Just as we approach the quarter hour, Green Gully, by my count, and I haven't been counting really well, they're my abacus. But I think this might be their third corner. Berger's yet to have one. Again, it's gone too far to the far post. And the referee spotted an infringement and bails the visitors out. Milanovic looking a little ginger. Milanovic scoring in stoppage time last week to earn the Burgers a point against Altona Magic. Theodoridis sends it over halfway again. Beckett, just a bit of a hit and hope. It might work out though. Camara versus Lino. It's going to be an enticing battle all night long. Camara, nice little back heel. Yego. And Heidelberg equally happy with their defence, but also probably a little bit worried about the build-up. That was all unlocked there by a very clever little back heel there by T-Boy Camara. Round 4 NPL Vic action. Theodoridis again. Headed away by Jones. Clash of bodies there. Milanovic again. Big fellow into the ground. He was looking ginger after that last header. Looks to have found his feet again. Long one down. Theodoridis probably could have taken it, but decided to parry it out. It was dangerous for a second, but Heidelberg was equal to it. Theodoropoulos. He's lost the ball through the middle. I think he was hunting Bolniak there. Okada. Camara again. Clearly a focal point of Green Gully's attack tonight in the opening 17 minutes. Both sides with some good half chances, but nothing sort of particularly gilt-edged thus far as we sit at 0-0. Jeremy Walker, again Camara. Squares it up nicely. And now a little chip, and that touch was just a little bit too heavy. And then, well, if the touch was too heavy, that shot on goal was certainly had a bit too much mustard on it there from Anthony Polyak. That might have actually gone outside the stadium here. Ball boys furiously chasing that one, but I reckon it might have gone over the barbed wire fence and into one of the practice pitches here. Burgers next week are slated to host Dandy City at the Village on Sunday evening. Of course, there's been a few false starts with that venue so far after some big renovations in the off-season. It looks like that might have been a handball. Gully spent too much time protesting and really gave Okada, I'm going to stick with Okada for tonight. Just gave him time to work in some space. It did seem like it hit his arm. It's the old debate, ball to hand, hand to ball. There's been different interpretations of the law. This referee thought it was all fair. As Gully now retreat. Walker. Of course, a name that's been called at this venue for a long time, Luke Walker. Played plenty of football here at Green Gully Reserve. Now heavily involved in his bodybuilding, Luke Walker. If you do follow him on any of the social channels, he is an absolute menace. It's Georgiopoulos now at the Camara again. Lino gets the better of him, flicks it on the left, into the hands of Theodoridis. And again, a chance for Green Gully, but not one that would have... I don't think Chris Theodoridis will be waking up with cold sweats over that one tonight. We tick into 20 minutes gone. And Jones puts his hand up for offside. And he's lucky the assistant referee obliged because he sort of just pulled up for a sec. And tell you what, Bolniak was off to the races. Would have had Jared Tyson's heart racing for a second or so there. For Green Gully, this time it's not offside. Green Gully through Salmon. Will go himself. Seen out by Theodoridis. Gully come again. Gully fan showing a displeasure with that sortie forward. Yago sees it out to the left. Beckett's there as an outlet here. Not taken. Salmon just going the 1-2 but chopped by Heidelberg. Gully still half a chance. Headed down there from Yago. And now Heidelberg's chance for some attacking possession. Through Okada. What can he do? Turns Walker almost inside out. Walker will it run for a penalty. For a corner throw. It doesn't. Did well there, Jared Tyson, just to throw his body at it. Keep it back in play. He's come well off his line here, Theodoridis. And he's going on a merry walk. And he's just got to wheel his way back, although he's got plenty of time to do that now as Okada attacks again down the left flank. Okada been tracked by Kamara. So Kamara's done plenty of attacking tonight. Now he's forced to do some defending, and it's seen out for a corner for the Warriors. And it looks like this one will float out. Okada. They go forward in numbers now. Heidelberg, but that one's, well, radar well off there for Okada. And that will... Well, did it take a deflection? No, it didn't. So it will be a Green Gully throw. Coming here from Timmins. Got Walker on the right if he wants him. Gets it through the legs of Okada. Couldn't get it back though. It was hit with plenty of pace. Walker goes short in here for Beckett. Beckett just checked hard there by the Burgers. Here Heidelberg come again. Free-flowing, opening half of the first half. And just diving at the ball there was Tyson. Did well. He had to. As they were honing in there. Heidelberg United win another corner. This one will be taken again by Strickland. He took a free kick from 30 yards earlier in the game. So all the corners so far tonight have been less than fantastic. This one's a bit better. Right in the middle. Meets the head there of Lino. Straight over the top of goal. Good to see. Not too many people, but a few people on the hill tonight. For quite a while now, Green Gully have had the green and white stripes behind that fence. Basically stopping anyone having a decent view of the game from behind that goal. Always had a change of heart in the off-season. Goes back to, I won't mention the team, but there was a visiting team in the going back 10 plus years who had a few fans that might have been climbing up on that fence and saw it not quite collapse, but bent a little bit And I think that was Green Gully said, that's enough. We're putting barriers up or banners up to stop that. Camera again, just looks up, sizes it up. Seen away by Milanovic. Followed up now by Mikulev. Eight NPL championships between them, these two sides, or NPL, VPL, tomato, tomato, as I say, week in, week out, here on FV's coverage of NPL Victoria. Kamara comes back to the skipper. Kamara again, but he's got Lino breathing down his neck. Fancies himself, though. Looked to square it up. Lino got his leg there, and he put just enough pressure on for Kamara to sky that one out for a goal kick. As a committee meeting happens between Farhajic and Theodoridis. Both the big defender. And the goalkeeper having a lively discussion. Just a bit of readjusting. 26 minutes gone. Mark Van Aken with you. NPL Victoria. Still 0-0. Lively opening. But no goals thus yet. Or just yet. You're going to get sick of me saying it, but it's Kamara again down the right. T-boy Kamara, I might add, because we've got a Minardi Kamara on the bench tonight for Gully. Well, that one just scuffed the shot there, Diego, but it was worth having a crack at. It's like a pinball machine, about 30 yards out there from the goal that Gully's attacking. And now Akata, tracked by Kamara. And Akata was probably a little bit too ambitious there. Well done, T-boy. The calls from the hill. Oh, and just gifted them an attack there, Theodoropoulos. And I reckon he might get a yellow card for that one. He does. Just taking out Melvin Beckett there. So yellow card coming up here in the 28th minute. It's the first caution of the game. And it was probably a foul that he needed to kind of give. Not the last man, of course, otherwise he'd be heading towards the sheds right now. But it was one where if Beckett got through, it just would have put an enormous amount of pressure on Heidelberg's defence as Walker resides over the ball. It's floated out to the left. Immediately hit the head of Bonyak. And that was too clever by half by Sean Timmins. Another goal kick. So both of these teams, in fact, no, hopefully Heidelberg will be at home next week. While Green Gully travel to Jack Edwards Reserve to take on the Oakley Cannons on next Friday night. So Heidelberg will enjoy a 9-day break before their next outing. Gully back in action on Friday night. Beckett, a man fouled just moments ago. Nothing vicious in it, just enough to stop him from getting through. Putting some attack on goal. Chopped off by Walker now for Gully. Goes out left. Seen down for Theodoridis. So good, open, clean game so far. Both sides receiving red cards last week. And the first game I covered of the season with the veteran of Victorian football commentary, Greg Blake, down at Paisley Park. That was Altona Avondale, and Avondale received No less than 3 red cards that day. 2 for players, 1 for a coach. Reliably informed last week it was their goalkeeping coach. Will Walker send this back to Tyson in goal? He does, although he's not quite in goal. That had to be precise. It was Jones. Jones again. That first touch was just a little clunky and nearly was dispossessed. Did enough to get Gully back on the march through Yego. Another interception from Falla. Jones again, now Beckett. Walker, that was a better touch. Goes down the line for Camara. Camara will get there first. Lino's following, and Lino just sort of fell into him there. What will the referee make of that? Play on was the call. And the players kind of stood still. Camara was the first to react and got through. And, well, I don't think there was any... Oh, nice little flip to get up there too by Camara. But clearly his core strength might beat mine by 1,000%. But, look, it wasn't particularly... I don't think there was any menace. Probably no intention. But Lino, it was sloppy. And it would have given the referee and the assistant referee something to think about. But ultimately, just waved it on. Theodoridis, stay tight is his call. Now the corners that Gully have had so far have all gone far post and way too far post. This one's better. They can't quite clear it here, Heidelberg. Still in the attacking area for Gully. Seen out by Theodoropoulos as he loses his feet. This one diagonally comes in. And Theodoridis rather, is equal to it. As we're about to tick into the 33rd minute, 0-0. Okada, flattered to deceive so far tonight, has had plenty of the ball. He's done some crafty things, but has also messed up a little bit. I don't think George Katsakis would mind me saying. Or maybe he would. Now, what's Tyson got in mind here? It looks like some sort of little set play set up here. Devised by Stephen Downs, the gaffer for Gully. Bit of alliteration for you there. Heidelberg. Maintaining possession just at the minute. Well, they go for Lino down the left. They don't. They go right down the line. And just a little bit of holding of the shirts there. Always going to be a free kick. It's 1v12 on the NPL Vic table, but you wouldn't have thought so from what we've seen so far. Gully maybe slightly more possession. We don't have the stats, of course. Certainly more of the ball in the attacking areas, but again, certainly hasn't been one-way traffic. Heidelberg have well and truly held their own thus far. Walker pulls it all the way back to Hall, to Jones. Now down the left come Gully. So nice build up here into Salmon. And Theodoridis just dealing with it beautifully. Now Heidelberg, although they're well organised at the back here, Gully. Turn attack into defence and vice versa very well. Beckett. Now they come. Pull that one just to the left of goal. Green Gully. Just over 10 minutes plus stoppage time to play here in the first half. You wonder if there'd even be any stoppage time. There's been really no stoppages so far. Might be 45 and straight in the dressing rooms. Say it again, cracking night for football. Plenty of people on the hill where we're broadcasting from tonight. And sometimes it can get a little bit muddy and a little bit miserable, I've got to say, up on the hill here at Gully. But this time of the year, it's 21 degrees at kickoff. And plenty of people got their blankets out, just enjoying a wonderful night. Jäger. Camera was the target there. Didn't get to him. Leno, it was easy picking for him to mop it up. Milanovic sent it right out to Mikulev. And Mikulev had to send it all the way back. Have to reset the Burgers. Not a good ball there, though. Here come Gully again. Beckett. Did he get a boot on that, or was it Milanovic? Didn't quite pick it up. Either way, it doesn't matter. Disaster averted. As Heidelberg now come the other way through a card up. And off his line by a long way here was Jared Tyson. Josh Wilkins. What can he do? The goal was open for a second. They just need to be a little bit quicker there, Heidelberg. And there wasn't enough attacking bodies coming through for them. And now defence becomes attack for the home side. Down the left again. Heidelberg's defence organised. Oh, shot from Salmon. Just came off the arms of Theodoridis, but he cleaned it up well enough. And just time to calm the farm for the boys from Olympic Village. That was Jones. So both sides have definitely come to play tonight. Pitch here, Green Gully Reserve, just looking immaculate. Oh, and just going down there. Polniak, nothing doing. Beckett, he's still down. I wonder if the referee will stop at some stage. Walker now, Green Gully, squares it up. It's a high one. And that was always going to be a free kick going to Theodoridis. Just put on his backside. Plenty of calls to the ref. Gully through Salmon. Wilkins. Look to go long, he does. Misses all the yellow shirts though. Salmon can attack again. Or in fact, he's going to retreat. Looking for Camara there, the skipper. Just a bridge too far. So a solid 3 at the back so far tonight for Gully. Lina, Camara, Beckett. Here they come again. Polyak. Don't know if it's his regular running style. He's looking a little bit ginger at the moment, but it might just be his running style. Around 5 minutes to play here in the first half. It's round 4 clash in NPL. Victoria, the top flight. Just showing some tickers there, Jared Tyson. Now Hall, back to Tyson again. Diego. Okada, intercepted, did well, Strickland. Okada, and he zigged with his foot when he should have zagged there. Just hit it with the outside of his left boot. Really needed to craft that in with his, well, at least the instep of his left boot. And gee whiz, or words to that extent, just reverberating around Green Gully Reserve right now as Beckett will come back. Will he come back to Tyson? No, goes to Hall. Thought Walker was on there. Kamara gets a decent old shove in the back from Lina. A few calls for a yellow card there from the Green Gully fans. Would have been a harsh one. Not a heck of a lot in it. They come again. Polyak. Still Polyak. Oh, off the top of the crossbar. Still in play. Lino now can clean up. Okada. Walker is just hovering for Green Gully. Heidelberg probably would have liked to get on their bike there, but Walker did well to get himself in the way. You go. A couple of touches in a second. Out wide to Timmins. Here he is again. Beckett. What he lacks in size, he picks up in plenty of heart. Kamara shows his checkers. Seen out by Milanovic. Famous name in Australian football, that one. And Kamara just knocked down by Lino. Now, Lino, again, not a lot in it, but on the back of that other foul just a couple of minutes ago, you'll probably just get a chat from the referee here because it doesn't quite warrant a yellow, but he keeps going with this school of work. He might just see one. And this will be a free kick for Green Gully, just on the knell of half-time. In a very, very good position. Make it count as the calls as Diego lines it up. It's just a two-man wall with Mikulev and Okada. Got some tall timber, Heidelberg. Those two are not it. They're saving that for the 18 and 6 yard boxes. Now Diego floats it in. That's dangerous. Oh, and a header! Just on the stroke of half-time. Gully score. I think it's the big fella, Jordan Hall. He's done very well. I talked about tall timber, and I did talk about the Berg. He's probably having little bit of a size advantage tonight, but they're not all little fellas. And Gully strike first blood in the 45th minute. And I'm going to have to get you that goal score because I got totally blindsided by that. I thought it might have been Hall, might have been Timmins. We'll wait for half time to confirm that for you. Apologies for that. But soon enough we'll know who's gotten on the score sheet. And after a fairly even first half, that's the last thing George Katsakis would have wanted to see. Lino, the man that gave away the free kick that led to the goal. He's had a pretty solid first half in defence for Heidelberg in that back four of theirs, but still might cop a spray. I doubt it, as that one just goes into a stand of sorts here at Green Gully. And we are into stoppage time, and you wouldn't have thought we'd have more than a minute. I know we've now just had a goal, but I don't think the ref would want to add more than a minute. I haven't seen a board come up from the fourth official. And actually can't even spot the fourth official. Maybe I should just get my eyes back on the game. And the free kick coming the way of Heidelberg. It'll be taken by Theodoridis, who'll be a little dejected. He was probably blindsided as I was by all that. There's plenty of traffic inside the 6-yard box, and it was just a brilliantly timed flick of the head and into the back of the net. And there we do. So half time here at Green Gully Reserve. NPL round 4 action. It's Green Gully 1, Heidelberg United 0. We'll be back for the second half shortly. Welcome back to Green Gully Reserve. Second half action underway. Mark Van Aken with you. It's Green Gully leading 1-0. We can tell you, I got it all wrong. I called everyone but Alex Salmon, who was the goal scorer for Green Gully in stoppage time of that first half. Should have known better. Had a brace last week. So now 3 goals in 2 games for the Fish. And pretty even first half, but Heidelberg licking their wounds at half-time there. Haven't noticed any subs as yet. And for those who've just joined us, it's Mark Van Aken with you here at Green Gully Reserve. High teens, light southerly breeze coming from your left of screen. Absolutely pristine conditions for football. The absolute opposite from last week. It was T-Boy Kamara taking the free kick just from about just to the right of the 18-yard box. Whipped it in beautifully, and Salmon was there to nod it past Chris Theodoridis in the Heidelberg goal. And that's Kamara again, just not dealing with that as well as he could, but it will still be a gully throw through the skipper, Jeremy Walker. Salmon out of brace in the first half against Avondale at Avenger Stadium last weekend as the marching band. I'm not sure we caught any of that on the broadcast, but I think they're packing up the instruments for the night. Going to enjoy a pastizzi or two. Walker again. So at this stage, Green Gully, if it stays like this, will maintain their lead at the top of NPL Victoria. Came into the round a point clear of Bentley Greens, the Melbourne Knights and the St Albans Saints. 2 clubs, of course, while the Saints play just around the corner from here, and the Knights just a short trip down McIntyre Road. Beckett was almost unlocked there. Strickland. Hall, who I actually had as the goal scorer. So apologies to any of Jordan Hall's family and friends who might have got a little excited by that. Although you probably cited it better than I did. And in fact, that looks like there is a sub there for Heidelberg United. That's Luka Ninkovic on the pitch. Not quite sure who he's replaced, but he's number 20 for Heidelberg United. Beckett switches the call. Switch he does. Walker. He has Kamara on his right. He does reach him. Kamara gave Lino plenty of headaches for Heidelberg that first half, although Lino was equal to it. Did give away a couple of clumsy fouls towards the end of the second half. One, of course, as I said, resulting in that opening goal of the game. Fala goes down the right-hand side looking for Mikulev. And Sean Timmins just collected there by the big fella, Dominic Fala. And earns himself a free kick. And as mentioned, Green Gully, one of the great clubs of Victorian football, but not known, it must be said, for huge crowds and probably outnumbered by the visitors tonight. And thus there's a bit of a stunned silence to start the second half as we approach the 5th minute. In fact, we're into the 5th minute now. And this is going to cause some problems here for Gully. A little chip over the top. That one coming in from Dusan Bonyak. And he probably should have done better with that, given Tyson had come off his line. Was, I won't say panicking, as that's not doing him any service, but was certainly a little bit disjointed in his approach. Didn't know whether to come or go. And Bonyak could have and should have done better there. And that could have been an equaliser in the early going here in the second half at Green Gully. Milanovic just shoved to the ground there. You don't see the big fella go down that often. As Georgopoulos tried to attack. Mikulev, that one just dribbles straight into the arms of Tyson. A little bit more textbook for him that time. Gully through Yego, trying to find Beckett. Couldn't find him. And now Heidelberg. Another chance to attack by the substitute, Ninkovic. Strickland out to the left. And we've got an offside from the assistant referee on our near side here, the hill side. Here come Gully. They're looking for 7. He's been scoring goals for fun. Season 2021 thus far. Two wins and a draw from their 3 games prior to tonight for Green Gully. Just the 2 draws and a loss for Heidelberg. But as we've mentioned a couple of times tonight, that draw last week was as good as a win, given they were 2-0 down for much of the game, also a man down. Yet came through in the last 8 minutes of the game to score 2 goals to earn them a point at Paisley Park against the Altona Magic. Timmins copped a pretty agricultural foul just a couple of moments ago, but he's none the worse for wear. Polyak. Georgopoulos. And just anchored himself well there. Probably the smallest, in fact, no. I'd say Melvin Beckett's the smallest bloke on the field, but it didn't matter too much there, and Georgopoulos just fires one at the goal. Not successful, though, as Theodoridis. Friday night football. Number of fixtures in NPL Victoria tonight. And now Heidelberg. They unlock this Gully defence and just rounds him there, and he fell over his own feet. They're calling for a penalty there, the Heidelberg fans, but in fairness, although there was probably some light contact, it was the substitute, Luka Ninkovic, who basically did so well that he twisted himself in knots there and ended up essentially falling over his own feet. And he's looking a little bit sore from that one, just trying to jog it out. He's got work to do here. Oh, and he dispossesses again. So he has made an immediate impact on this game for George Katsakis' side. Something that Stephen Down is going to have to look at for Green Gully. Just giving them a big, talented target up front. As Lino tried to do some attacking of his own, the big defender. Did well for his first touch or two, but ultimately dribbled over the sideline. And this is very much a different looking Heidelberg United team in the opening 9 minutes of the second half. Georgopoulos. Timmins. Georgopoulos again. Through the middle. Salmon, our goal scorer. Out wide to Kamara. Only a couple of green shirts in the box there. Plenty of yellow. Now strike from distance. Slightly scuffed there from Yego. He's had a couple of those tonight. They were well intentioned. They were good ideas from distance. Just didn't quite execute. And Gully elect not to come all the way back to Jared Tyson. And Hall sends it out wide to his skipper in Walker. Georgopoulos to Beckett. Jones, strong in the tackle there, does well. Georgopoulos. And the offside flag goes up there. Theodoridis having a bit of advice there for Polyak, who, despite the whistle, still trying to chip the keeper. First real chance for Gully in the second half there. Camera, good first touch and then just taken out there. Again, nothing too sinister, but it's the third time tonight that they've got stuck in to the talented T-Boy Camera. Talented for big things as a youngster, as T-Boy. He's still got plenty of time to achieve those, but for now, just a fixture. Calls for handball. That one definitely just hit up into his arm, and given it was in the middle of the park, went out for a throw regardless. So, and Beckett just taking the legs out. Heidelberg will keep going. It's parried out in front there. And Jared Tyson, well, he got right behind that one. He sort of did what he was supposed to, I guess, but just wouldn't even call it a parry because it basically bounced off his chest. He just lost control of it for a second after Strickland was probably fouled. I think the referee was happy to look for the advantage there for Heidelberg, and it very much was an advantage because it nearly resulted in a ball in the back of the net for the Warriors. Now out wide for Wilkins. Oh, that's on target. And the follow-up for Heidelberg hits the back of the net. And they've been threatening in the opening here. And Justin Mikulev gets Heidelberg back on track here in the 13th minute of the second half. That'll be the, if my maths is correct, the 58th minute of the game. And Justin Mikulev gets the Burgers back on level. Just some good build-up play there. It bobbled around. Tyson was there. He was at sixes and sevens, as was the Green Gully defence. And you can't say they haven't earned it so far in the opening almost quarter hour here in the second half. It's Green Gully 1, Heidelberg 1, Friday night NPL Vic football. Mark Van Aken with you. And that's put a spring in the step of the Burgers. That one up on the roof. Not sure it's going to come back down. And is it going to bobble outside the stadium? I seem to always be fascinated by that. No, it's stuck up there. Someone's going to be climbing up the pole later tonight. It's not a King Street reference. As Lino brings it down, but the assistant referee's seen something. Now Heidelberg have a little bit of time to plan their attack. Theodoridis coming well out. He's certainly giving some advice where he thinks it should go. In fact, he thinks it should go in his boot, which does allow 10 men forward of the ball for Heidelberg. Another header on. Mikulev was almost there again. Tyson puts it in his mitts. Salmon the scorer just before the whistle for half-time for the home side. And Justin Mikulev. And just hopping up. Again, a little sore there. Dane Milanovic, who'll no doubt be calling for the trainers post-game, just grabbing at his right hip at the moment. He's had a few knocks in that first half. This one long down the line. Again, looking for Mikulev. Squares up to Strickland. Oh, I just needed to turn and shoot there. Bonyak, sorry. He's a lumbering figure. Probably would have, well, state the obvious, would have liked to have done better and maybe should have. So it's a couple of chances he's had in this second half as well. Sveta Hadjic, he sent that out to the left. Goes the call from the Burgers faithful. Into the middle. Jones, little dinky tap away. Falls to him for a second bite at the cherry. Headed away by Featherhudgich. High boot there. Lucky there was no Heidelberg traffic in the way. Lino crashes into Walker. Walker will eventually win possession. Georgopoulos just has his shirt tugged at by Lino, and he had a couple of not nasty but illegal sort of tackles in that first half, and I reckon the referee might give him one final warning, but he's getting a little sick of that. He just sort of waves at Lino to say no more of that, because I reckon the next one he'll be going in the book. And we do have a sub coming up here. And it is, who have we got here? It was 11 for 12. Let's have a look. So it's Melvin Beckett making way now for Manadi Kamara. So 2 Kamaras on the field. So Melvin Beckett put in a good shift, but as plenty of coaches are wont to do, making a substitution on the hour mark or just beyond it, it's not uncommon. Probably something pre-planned for the game. And T-Boy Kamara has caused plenty of problems tonight for Heidelberg. Can another Kamara do the same? Georgopoulos, Salmon. Ooh, just had it for a second. Just didn't quite have the touch he would have liked. Jones. Kamara straight into the action. And just a decent old shove in the back there from Josh Wilkins. So he wins the free. He mocked up by Luke Yego. Jones almost wants to come back to Jones. He doesn't though. Goes out to Hall. Wide down the right to Walker. Walker takes a look. Crosses it in. Kamara just lines it up and goes left of the goal for Green Gully. Had plenty of time to think about it. And it was Milan, shouldn't say Milan Ivanovic. I said it was a famous name. I've got it on the brain. But Ivanovic falling down there. Again, it's done there. Goal scorer last week for Heidelberg. And they were in a little bit of trouble there, Heidelberg. And lucky, despite having a few seconds to size it up, that Manadi Kamara just put it to the left. Errant ball there from Timmins. This is Kamara again. Timmins has a man on in the form of Mikulev, our second half goal scorer. Tyson goes long, looked for Kamara. Luno did well though. Now Luno looks to put it forward into Bolniak. Bodies were tangled there, and the referee sees it Green Gully's way. It's not the way the Burgers fans in the grandstand saw it, fair to say. Jones to Kamara. Kamara's coughed it up. And Heidelberg, they're full of beans here in the second half. Although that one sent across. Mikulev's looking at his teammates saying, well, where was the run, boys? As it just skidded across the face of goal. And a sliding tackle coming in there. And it's starting to get a little bit tasty, this one. Salmon sliding in there on Fala. Salmon just tried to turn on a dime. He did, but couldn't quite get any sort of real power behind that shot. Now Kamara. Kamara's bookending both sides of the pitch, and coming across the top there was Polyak for Green Gully. And probably could have done better. And a go-ahead goal goes begging for Green Gully. as we tick over 20 minutes here in the second half. So 25 to play. And another substitution for Heidelberg United. It's Owen Ashton, another goal scorer last week. And I'm thinking it actually might be Dusan Bolniak off for Heidelberg. I think I'm right in saying that. Jones leapt first, but didn't leap the best. Lino and Kamara continue their battle tonight. This time Lino wins out. Absolutely perfect conditions. I talked about a light southerly as Walker sends it back to his keeper. And that wind has completely died down here in the second half. And to be honest, there wasn't really any to speak of. Here come Gully through Yego. It's been busy tonight, as is this fella. T-Boy Kamara. Couple of steps. Still maintains possession. Now Mikulev into the middle. Seen out by Milanovic. Mikulev again. Walker v Lino. Lino, a clever little back heel. He was done by a T-Boy Kamara back heel in the first half. He's just giving Green Gully back some of their own medicine there. Put them on the attack briefly. Jones. Back to Tyson. And I tell you what, it's been non-stop action so far tonight. Into the 68th minute of the game. 1 goal apiece. NPL round 4 action. Friday night here at the Gully. Mark Van Aken with you. Jones. Georgopoulos. Out wide for Timmins. Back to the goal scorer, Salmon. 3 goals in a fortnight and counting. Georgopoulos just worked his way in this game nicely. Ivanovic. Now, he's gone down a couple of times tonight, and that one has got him. And Timmins, well, he's come in. I don't think the referee's going to go for a card here. It was a clumsy challenge. Again, all the challenges tonight that have sort of gone anywhere near seeing a yellow card, we've only really had one. The rest have been sort of, as I said, clumsy. 28th minute, I think it was, Anthony Theodoropoulos for Heidelberg United saw one, but that one again was sloppy, it was clumsy, which doesn't mean you can't get a caution for it, but the referee deciding to let it go. He's going to take a while to get back to his feet. Ivanovic, who knows plenty about copping some knocks tonight, just helps the substitute Owen Ashton back to his feet. Knocked on by another substitute here, Ninkovic. And almost shoved under the ball there. So after a first half that was pretty gentlemanly, you've got to say, it's just starting to get a bit of niggle into it, this game. Words being exchanged from players out there. Feta Hadjic, who's just going to the bench for a refreshment and maybe a bit of advice from the coaching staff. No. Medical staff on the pitch. So as mentioned, Dandy City are the opponents for Heidelberg United next week, slated to be at Olympic Village. Gully will travel to Jack Edwards Reserve on Friday night to take on the Oakley Cannons. And eventually to his feet there is Okada. He was the man fouled. Looking like he's okay. We'll just gets a pat on the back from Kamara, and we'll just wait for the referee to wave him back on. Minardi Kamara went left, then right. He's had a couple of shots on goal, although it's hard to call that one a shot on goal. Shot in the general direction of goal. His first effort wasn't a bad one, just pulled it to the left. This time he sent it way right into the car park. And there's a bit of chat going on out in the pitch at the moment. Not all of it's directed towards opponents. Some of it's, although there was a bit going on there between, I think it's Fetahadzic and Alex Salmon. Fetahadzic just sort of telling him to wipe away his tears and be a little bit quiet. Nothing wrong with a bit of niggle. Nearly clipping the boots there of Kamara was Wilkins. Probably glad that he didn't. And Polyak. And that one not that well hit by Theodoridis. It's Timmins. Calls for handball. Assistant referee says no. Kamara having his shirt tugged there by Wilkins. Did it cleverly though. Hit it from view of the referees and the assistant referees as T-Boy Kamara on the right. Squares up for Polyak, and Polyak's hit the side netting. From this angle, it looked like it was in. Plenty of the Green Gully youngsters on the hill here. They went up. So a good effort, but not a successful one. Keeps us locked at 1-1. So as mentioned, for a club that's not known, and that's not having a knock, but not known for its huge crowds, handy little turnout here on Friday night as Kamara's taken down, and this time a yellow card, you dare say, will come out. Will it? And it's going to be, yes, I said the next time he pulls that sort of stuff, he's probably going to see a yellow card. And Jackson Leno has seen exactly that here in the 74th minute. So the second yellow tonight, both going the way of Heidelberg United. In their familiar yellow and black strips tonight. And Leno, again, none of his challenges by themselves warranted a caution, but I think it was just the collection of work tonight that's tested the patience and eventually worn out the patience of the referee. And I'll look to float this one in. Plenty of activity in that 18-yard box for Gully. Flying in. Still bouncing about. Still in play here. Jones. Will he get to it in time? Being tracked by Mikulev. He lets it run as it came off a Heidelberg player. So a half opportunity missed there for the home side. Georgopoulos was the target. Didn't get there. And then Georgopoulos just giving away the foul on Tom Strickland. And just like that, we're into the last quarter hour. They had some late magic against the Magic last week, Heidelberg United. Is there more to come? They started this second half like a bull at the gates, dominating from the start and getting just rewards through Justin Mikuliff in the 58th minute. They continue to dominate for the next 5 or so minutes. After that, it's been fair to say, I think, a 50-50 kind of battle. Gully, it's all subjective, of course, maybe ever so slightly the better side in the first half, certainly from an attacking perspective in terms of time in their attacking half. But really, no particularly gilt-edged chances except for the one they put away on the stroke of half-time. Polyak, get out of there. The call from the referee. Hard to miss tonight, Polyak, with those fluoro pink boots. This is squared up. Oh, Jones couldn't quite get his head to it. They've been in trouble here. And still they attack. Will still maintain possession at least. Squared up nicely. Jones. Burgers fan in the grandstand thought it was handball because it came clearly off the chest of the big Englishman. Skinned him there to Mikuliff. And that's gone in the back of the net, has it? I think it has. And that is a goal for the second half sub. Luka Ninkovic. And just when I said Gully had worked their way back into it, Luka Ninkovic scores for the Burgers. 32 plus 45. Help me out. That's 77 minutes. And the Burgers fans just banging the fence, making some noise. Now we're kicking the fence. It's all happening here at Green Gully Reserve. Obviously the hand got a little sore. No, the hand's back. Alexandros chant goes up. And Green Gully, who entered this round in first place. Heidelberg, who entered in 12th. Now they've got the job to do in the last 12 or so minutes on their home turf. As I said, they've had plenty of opportunities tonight, Green Gully, but really have clearly only taken advantage of one of them, given they've only scored one goal. They immediately go forward. Polyak, has he got that in? Oh, just over the top of the crossbar there. Anthony Polyak, another opportunity almost immediately after the goal for the Cavaliers. And just over the top there, he had Theodoridis beaten. Alexandros again, the call, this time from the other side of the field. Heidelberg, the visitors 2. Green Gully, our hosts, 1. A sniff of handball there, but referee calls play on. Probably the right call. Kind of brought down by the bicep. Kind of between the chest, shoulder and bicep. And Polyak, the man who just had that gilt-edged opportunity for Gully to Lino. His caution just moments ago. It's probably shaded Camara a little bit in this second half. Camara, fair to say, shaded him in the first half. Clever little chip there for Ninkovic, our goal scorer here. And they've had some joy off the bench. 2 weeks in a row have Heidelberg. Last week it was Owen Ashton, who's on the park at the moment. Can he find a goal that puts Heidelberg 2 goals to the good? 10 minutes to play plus stoppage time. Camara is played on there by Lino. Milanovic against the other Camara. Ivanovic doesn't give it up, but he does concede a corner. Have had plenty of corners tonight, Green Gully. Haven't really taken great advantage of them. Again, this one just goes too far. They've gone to the far post at almost every corner tonight, Green Gully, and they've gone too far pretty much every time. Not one that Luke Yeager will really savour from that corner flag. As they get another one. This one will be taken by the skipper, Jeremy Walker. He's got Polyak short if he wants him. In fact, it's a throw. My mistake. Simmons just went vertically with it. Amadi Kamara, foul by Ivanovic. Nothing doing, said the referee. That one will probably go for another corner. Heavy contact there from Josh Wilkins, but fair. And it's T-Boy Kamara who takes the short corner. And in the box there, another chance for Green Gully. Just goes begging. It was angled in pretty well. And Alex Salmon looking for his second brace in as many weeks. A brace of braces, so to speak. Just taking responsibility for not quite getting that one on target. And now the referee. As we've got another substitution here. It's for Heidelberg. It's going to be... Let's have a look. Alex Costello coming on. And it's going to be Jackson Leno, the man that was on a yellow, to come off. So despite getting the yellow and giving away a few fouls, and ultimately the foul that led to the Green Gully goal, he's put in a pretty decent shift tonight, the big fella. And Alex Costello will come in for the last 12 minutes plus stoppage time. Will this be the first win of the season? Season 2021. We're at round 4. Remember, we only got to round 5, if I'm not mistaken, last year, before, of course, COVID saw Football Victoria having to pull the pin on the top flight comp. You see State League football returns this weekend after a long absence. That's good to see. Hundreds of clubs in action across all the different state leagues. As Gully attack now, Jones just gets a boot in at the right time. Now Mikulev, who's just grown as the game's gone on. Georgopoulos looked for Kamara, couldn't find him. Nodded away by Costello, his first touch of the game. Polyak. Costello, you dare say Kamara would definitely have him for pace, but he's a big body. And just got that big body in the right way in the right place at the right time. So they come the other way. And Tyson had no choice but to send that one out onto the top of the dressing sheds. Almost got a red moon tonight over Melbourne. Here in Melbourne's northwest. The junction of Kealba and Keilor Downs. Green Gully need to find an equaliser in these last 10 minutes. Oh, that top place on the table may not be theirs come the end of the weekend. That might not even be enough. They only have top spot by a point coming into the round. And Heidelberg, should they get their first win of the season, as mentioned earlier in our broadcast tonight on Football Victoria TV. They well, they'd rocket up the ladder, the table, whatever you want to call it. But, of course, other games around Melbourne tonight and across the weekend. So plenty of football to play out. We'll see where the cards lie come Sunday evening. As Ivanovic does well, slides again, still looking a little tired, just puts his leg out there, swing and a miss, so to speak, in a bit of cricket parlance. And now Green Gully, they come forward. Daniel Jones, the veteran. And that will be a free kick, and he's just landed very awkwardly there, Chris Theodoridis, and straight away the trainer is sprinting out. Had it covered, little bit of, I think it was pretty much incidental coverage there, but in the AFL they call that tunnelling. In the rugby league it'll be a penalty. That'll be a penalty, tackling a player in the air. And he had it, and he seemed pretty good until that last moment where he kind of flipped and landed very awkwardly, and probably lucky to not quite land on his head there, because that could have been very bad stuff. And it looks like they're working more on his legs at this stage. And eight minutes and stoppage time to come. Remember, historically, not that it means much, but they've only lost to Green Gully twice in the history of this competition. They've won 6 times and drawn 5. So if they get this win tonight, if it stays as it is, as another Heidelberg player goes down, there'll be 7 wins, 5 draws and 2 losses, which is not a bad return against a team that has been not dominant year in, year out, but dominant more often than not, and very good more often than not in the VPL and the NPL. Can't quite see the player because he's surrounded now. And it seems that the Heidelberg players are just more worried about their teammate here than anything particularly in terms of remonstrating with Gully. He might get a bit of stoppage time in the second half. We've had some subs, a couple of injuries for Heidelberg. Just getting to his feet there is Luka Nenkovic, of course, scored in the 77th minute. Comes off, still doesn't look 100%, but it looks like the trainer's happy enough to have him come back on the park. Ball runs. Seaboard Kamara lets the assistant referee know all about it. Timmins to take the throw. They're running out of time to score here. And Ninkovic falls again, this time just over the body of defender Daniel Jones. No love for you, Daniel Jones, on that occasion. Gully fans have loved him over a very long time, of course. And here he is again. Timmins. Into the last minute of regulation time. Jones treats the Tyson. Tyson, just a foot on that 18-yard box. It's all okay. Farajic. Thought he had it there, but he didn't. Amadi Kamara. What can they do here? Salmon looking for his second goal of the evening. And looked good for a second there. And a card is going to be coming out here. And that's for Daniel Jones. That one coming in the 90th minute. So Jones just feeling the need. as a senior player in this team to take matters into his own hands there. But of course it will also sap some valuable seconds off this clock. As Okada, who copped a knock in the second half and hasn't really been amongst it too much. He was omnipresent, well, not omnipresent, but certainly very present in that first half. As Wilkins just comes out of defence with purpose there for Heidelberg United. Concedes the foul. He doesn't agree. And here comes Jones, and things are getting desperate now. And I can see on the fourth official's board the number 4, but whether that's just happens to be on number 4 or that's what he's going to hold up for us, I don't know, or he might have already held it up because I've been too busy watching the play, so it's been frenetic. Another corner now for Green Gully. And not to be too critical, but Lugiego has not been great with these so far tonight, but can he get one on the spot to get Green Gully or get one of his teammates in a position to get level? Salmon falls to feet, has a second bite at the apple there. Wasn't to be. And it's a goal kick. Sent down long and hard there by Theodoridis. He's had a pretty good night at the office for Heidelberg, including a little knock there, which looked like he might be in a bit of trouble there, but did get to his feet reasonably quickly. Now the long one down the line from Yago. Polyak will pull the trigger from distance. And that has gone well over the top and maybe slightly wide on the right-hand side of Green Gully's attacking goal. As we tick into the 93rd minute. Kamara just placing it for Theodoridis. He didn't like where it was placed. And some more seconds tick off the clock. Only seconds remaining by my calculations here at Green Gully. Will the Burgers be winning their first game of the 2021 campaign? And I think the ref has indicated the time is just about up. Jones is going to want to go long here. He does, but there's nothing there. Heidelberg with the luxury of just sitting men behind the ball now. That one flagged for off, and they won't mind that one little bit, Heidelberg, as, again, critical seconds just tick away. Is there one chapter to be written tonight here at Green Gully? Or Gully looking at their first loss of the season. The Burgers, their first win. A tale of two teams tonight. And we're still going now into the 95th minute of stoppage time. Well, the 5th minute of stoppage time, of course. 95th minute of the game. Whistle's coming from the Heidelberg fans, and that comes. They ask for the whistle, and the referee obliges. And it was an open, free-flowing, entertaining game of football tonight here at Green Gully Reserve. It's seen the home side suffer their first loss of season 2021. It's seen the visiting Burgers win their first game of season 2021. It'll see them rocket up the ladder, no doubt. While Gully, they were pretty good tonight. Both sides were good. Gully struck first, just in stoppage time of half-time. off the first half rather, through Alex Salmon. But they were not to score again throughout the entire evening. Then they came out with purpose in the second half, did Heidelberg United. Justin Mikuloff putting him in front in the 58th minute. And Jackson Lino, well, he saw a yellow card in the 74th. And it was Luka Ninkovic, the substitute, putting Heidelberg ahead and giving them the winning goal in the 77th minute of the game. Round 4 NPL action, FVTV. On behalf of myself, Mark Van Aken, and our entire team, we thank you for joining us and we hope to see you again next week. You can, of course, check us out on Facebook or YouTube. See you then.